Hey there, everyone. This is Silk. We are doing Operation Thunderball turn 14.4 Japan. Want to see a quick update on how the board's doing. Germans fought a big fight here in northern Belarusia. The Soviets came right back at them. So certainly a painful situation there. We'll see what they do after that, how they're gonna kind of rearrange each other. But it's pretty nasty to see there. Lots of things died. They managed to kind of as expected. The Germans are not going to hold these lines for much longer. This is pretty normal, but they might be able to do some more damage still. We'll see what uh, they end up coming for. Meanwhile, over here in Japan, we've got giant problems. There's this huge American fleet sitting right here off of Hawaii, keeping it rather well fortified. And way over here in the Mediterranean and the East, or I should say West Indian Ocean, the Brits are coming. They've got battleships and heavy cruisers and destroyers, carriers, all the things you need to cause problems, transports, infantry. So I think they're coming for India. So we're gonna have our work cut out for us. First thing though is our tech rolls. We are pursuing radar, trying to finish improved factories. Long range aircraft is certainly a nice quality of life option if we can get it. And this is really the important one. And unfortunately for us, we fail yet again. We do, however, get radar moving. Less impactful, but it'll be nice if I can get it quickly enough. Otherwise, it's not really going to have much of effect. Kind of with LRA. If I don't get either of these pretty quickly here, we're already on turn 14. Tech is starting. New technologies are starting to be not so useful. It's really just an issue of getting things finished off that'll affect the board. Meanwhile, here in our purchases, you'll notice we've got 4 heavy battleships lined up. That's because we're going to go ahead and place 2 this turn. So we're going to finish a heavy battleship. We're going to advance a heavy battleship. We're going to place 2 heavy battleships. Start 14. Just got to start thinking of where you're going to be at the end game and how you're going to be and all that. And they're coming for my fleet. Both the Brits and the Americans are. So I need to get it bigger. And 2 heavy battleships will help do that. So that's how we're going to do that. Meanwhile, we've got our 4 heavy armor to do some good force projection for us. We are going to finish the 2 railroads we need to connect the India to the rest of our main line there. And we've got a single destroyer we're going to build for 6. And then 4 militia and 1 militia upgrade. So it's 20 for the 4 heavy Bs here. These 4 heavy tanks and this 1 militia is 30, so that's 50. The 2 railroads are 8, the militia is 2, so that's 10. So 20, 50, 60, and then the destroyer is 6, that gets us to 66, and the 3 militia gets us to our 72, one of which is an upgrade. All right, don't have a whole lot of combat movements. We're going to try to clear these subs out. So one of the things with submarines and the interdiction is that they're not actually that hard to clear out. You just have to have a unit that can force a combat. And the subs either have to fight the combat or submerge, and the combat only lasts for 1 turn. So tends to mean that they more likely not just end up diving. So this fighter, tactical bomber here off of Formosa, is going to go 1 to P41, 2 to I think it's P50, and then slide over here and attack this British submarine that's sitting off of Ceylon, and it'll submerge it. I can't force combat with it. It can't hurt me, so it'll just dive right down. These 2 coastals here are going to continue raiding. Meanwhile, for these coastal sub and the main sub here, they're going to end up submerging as I combat troop over quite a few units here. In the meantime, we got to deal with this destroyer here and this destroyer here. So this submarine off of New Zealand is going to go 1, 2, 3 and attack that destroyer hanging off the Marshall Islands. Meanwhile, the other submarine that is off of Sydney is going to go 1, 2, 3 and attack the destroyer that's off of New Britain. Coming off of our carrier fleet to help us kill these things, we're going to deploy 2 tactical bombers into the sea zone of the Marshall Islands to attack that destroyer with a submarine. And then we're going to do 4, they're all fighters. They're all going to attack this destroyer off of New Britain, which is hopefully enough to send him to an early grave. It looks like it's actually 5 fighters. 5 fighters and 1 submarine against 1 lone destroyer. That should not last long. Meanwhile, got some work to do down here in North Island. So I wasn't entirely sure how the Americans were going to respond to my kind of overtures here by moving to the Caroline Islands. They decided to go ahead and protect. They decided to protect Hawaii pretty hard there. So it's not a fight I currently want to have until my fleet's a little bit bigger, which is in the works, but it's going to take some time. So in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and launch our invasion here. So from these 2 transports that are in P-46, we're going to take an infantry, a 2nd infantry, 1 artillery, and a marine. And those 2 transports are going to come on down here, 1, 2, 3, down to the New Zealand, north and south. And we're going to drop off a marine and an infantry into north, and an infantry into south, and the artillery into north. And then at the same time, 2 destroyers are going to come out of the 6th Fleet with 2 marines. These 2 here. And they're going to drop off 1 marine into the North Island and 1 marine into the South Island. And then also a battle cruiser and a heavy cruiser are going to dispatch, and they're going to do some bombard attacks. So we're going to go ahead and put some bombards into these fights and hopefully get them going well. The battle cruiser will bombard into the North Island, and the heavy cruiser will bombard into the South Island, and see if we can't just win those straight up. So that's that. Oh, and then I've got 1 torpedo boat destroyer. It's going to kick out a P-46. It's going to go 1 to 9 to... Oh, these are blank zones here. So it's 1 north, and then 1 east, and then 1 more east to the Line Islands. And it's just going to kind of hang out there and do some fishing and mess with the Americans a bit, just to make their life a little bit harder. I'll explain a little bit how and why I do that a little bit later, after we're doing a post-mortem on this game here. Meanwhile, all the battleships are going to come rumbling over at 1, 2, 3 and attack those submarines. And all of the rest of my support crew is going to come with them here. And that is more than enough ships to make Cambo decide he doesn't want to mess with that. So they just both submerge, and that clears that path out. Meanwhile, this submarine here off of P-15 is going to get attacked by a seaplane on map with a destroyer pairing to assist to kill it. And that is probably all of my combats. Don't have a combat there. Don't have a combat there. Don't have a combat there. I think we're still being peaceful with the Russians as far as I can tell. There. I think that'll be that. Okay, so let's go ahead and do some fighting. So the submarines all go away. They all dive down. This destroyer here, I've got 1 submarine at a 3, and then 5 fighters. All at 6s. And we kill him in that zone. No first strike though, even though it is a 1, since he is a destroyer. First strike does not apply. So he gets to shoot back at me at a 4. And he hits, unfortunately. So not a great trade, trading a destroyer for a submarine, but it is what it is. Then attacking the other destroyer, I've still got a submarine at 3, and I've got 2 tacticals at 7s. Which fortunately we get 1 hit with our tactical here, so I don't have to worry about this going multiple rounds, and he'll shoot. And he also hits. This is terribly unfortunate luck now. As we lose both our submarines. Those things add up. It sounds like it's a simple item, but every time you lose a ship that you didn't have to lose, it adds up. And losing both of those on 2 swings is definitely not a great spot for the Japanese. So a little disappointed with that. We'll move on to our coastal fights here. We'll do the fight here in the South Island. I've got a single bombard from a heavy cruiser at 2. That misses. I then have 2 2s, with a marine and an infantry. We get nothing. He, meanwhile, has a single militia that gets to shoot back, which misses. So dice don't really matter. So the reds are my guys. The teal is his guy. We just got to see who lives. That's round 2. That's round 3. Nobody's dying yet. It's round 4. 5. This is getting a little incredulous. 6. 7. Killed him on turn 7. Alright. Managed to take South Wales. Alright, in North Wales, I've got a bombard at a 3, trying to kill his militia. I fail. I then have 2 Marines and 1 infantry, looking for 2s. I get 0. This is not looking great. He's got a militia at 2 and a infantry at 4. So the militia will be blue, the teal will be the infantry. And at least gets 1 hit. Yep, 1 hit. So there goes a marine. So now my artillery at least lands. So that boosts, the artillery becomes a 3, and it'll boost the marine a 3. So I got 2 3s, and then I've got a normal infantry at a 2. So the infantry gets a hit, so that at least helps that. He, meanwhile, has a militia at 2 and an infantry at 4. Blue is the militia, which he gets 1 more hit. There goes my infantry. He loses a militia. So it's now 2 3s, an artillery and a marine, against the single 4. He's just got the infantry. And we kill him, and he doesn't kill us. Well, there's at least helps that. Still, he managed to kill 2 hits. So, again, every little bit adds up when you're doing kind of cascading turns, which is a lot of how Japan fights. You really want to try to use as much overwhelming force to win the fights as quick as you can and get things over with. So done. That is all of our combat. Oh no, I got my rating. So we've got our 2 rating dice. So we can roll these here. So I've got 2 coastal subs here. I'm at +1. He has radar. He's at +2. So I have to get much higher than him to do damage. That'll do it though. 6 + 1 is 7. His 1 + 2 is 3. So that's 4. So we're actually, Hambone did the 1 damage, I believe. Or not Hambone, Panzerday did the 1 damage to the FEC. If I'm wrong on that, then the FEC will take that damage. But I believe that line's maxed at this point. However, we do take 2 away from ANZAC, which was really the critical thing there, was to really trying to squeeze them about as hard as we can here, and that'll help us do that. So we get to the non-comps. All of our carriers have to move, which I guess I already kind of moved them, so the carriers come over here. So we're gonna grab some of our, kind of move my markers around just a wee bit, kind of keep them, try to keep them mostly in the areas where they're relevant, although not all the carriers move. I gotta land these planes. 2 light carriers actually drop down here to New Zealand to capture these 2 attack bombers. And then these 5 planes land on the carriers off of Siam there. Siam and Siam, Saradica, Malaya. I think it's P50 is the C zone, where the rest of the fleet is. The tactical that was in suppressing the sub just goes into Siam. Land there. We're going to go retreat from Punjab. If the Gurkhas want to walk out of the mountains, we're okay with that. So I may get a marker for this, because this is getting a little heavy here. This Marine comes over. Meanwhile, another heavy armor and artillery will move from Rihi to Shanxi. Make that stack a little bit bigger, just in case the CCP decide to come knocking. Let's see what else we got. The transport from Rihi will... Oh, I did have one more fight. I gotta try to kill this submarine here. So we're gonna try to kill a submarine off of Tokyo Bay there, P15. So the seaplane is at a 3, and the destroyer is at a 4. We're going to try to kill this against that submarine and hopefully get a little less. Oh, that was a 2 until it wasn't. 6 and a 9. He totally lives. And watch him now hit me back and kill me. This is going just terrible. Oh, well. Was a 3, became a 6, so I guess there is that at least. My destroyer lived. So destroyer stays here with that sub. Where was it? Well, that guy's there. He submerges. Oh, that's right. Transport comes over, grabs 2 guys, and comes back into Rihi. That's what that was. So we grab... Well, we'll just grab these 2 off of Kanchu. Right? Yeah, we'll grab the 2 off of Kanchu. So we'll grab the Marine and the Infantry off of Kyushu and put them in Rihi. Meanwhile, the New York Coco will come out of Siam. It'll grab 2 units out of Kwangtung, drop them off in Siam, and then go back into port. And actually, at that point, I don't have to be in port. I've got... I really don't want to get first striked. Yeah, if he wants to, I'll take the chance. We'll stay out with the rest of the fleet. I'm pretty confident he's not going to try to mess with my fleet there. So out of the 41st comes 1 infantry and 1 artillery. Go into Siam. And this destroyer goes 1, 2, 3, 4 and joins the battleship fleet off of Malaya. The submarine in P16 goes 1, 2, 3 to P41. And the other submarine will go 1, 2, 3 to P46, the Caroline. I think he's going to be able to mess... Oh, he can mess with me there because it's a seaplane. Nicely done. Yeah, most of the spots I don't want to put that sub. That seaplane's going to mess with me. He'll also go to P41. That's a bummer. I'm not pleased about that. But it is what it is. Alright, I'm actually going to stop using the 41st since we're kind of cutting down on the number of units that are there. Alright, we got to place some units, right? I don't think I have anything else to move in the... No, they're good. Alright. So we got some units to place. So we do finish one of the Amados, and it'll go here in P15, along with the destroyer. So I'll have 2 destroyers and 1 heavy battleship in the Sea of Japan there, hanging out with the Anzac coastal sub. This seaplane actually will land in Honshu. I think we'll move an infantry and a militia to Kyushu. So, let's see. Oh, I gotta place my rails. Let's do that. So we complete our rail line through Bengal and Burma. And through don't want to connect it to Siam. I think so. We'll connect it to Siam. We'll connect Siam to Anton and complete the rail that way. All right. With the rest of our militia, we have 4 militia and a militia upgrade. So 1 militia goes here in, I have it as New South Wales. It's just north of Sydney here. This 1 militia here in Queensland is what my militia upgrade went. So he becomes the infantry. And then we've got 3 militia, 1 of which goes in Calcutta. 1's going to go in southern India. 1's going to go in Maharashtra. As far as that goes, we can delete that since we used him. 1, 2, and 3. Delete those Yamamotos there. And that just leaves the 4 heavy armor. This is going to look pretty similar. So to get the 1 to Calcutta's easy enough now. We can just, since all these submarines have been suppressed, we just can launch from Kyushu and just come around the sea zone and into that port in Calcutta. And he'll drop off there. The other 1 will drop off here in Rihi. And then we're going to put 2 heavy armor in Queensland. And that should just be a good fun time. See how Brits decide to deal with that. So we'll try to do a unit disposition here. In Tokyo, I've got 2 militia, 8 infantry. In Honshu, I've got a marine and an infantry. In Kyushu, I've got a militia and an infantry. In the P15, I've got a heavy battleship, 2 destroyers. In P41, I've got 2 submarines. In Kwangtung, I've got 2 militia, 4 infantry, 3 artillery. In Shenxi, I've got 3 infantry, 3 artillery, a motorized, a marine, a mountain, 2 medium armor, 3 heavy armor. There's a single transport that's in port in Rihi. There's a single transport. Oh, that's it. Hanging out with the main fleet. We'll get to the main fleet. In Siam, I've got a tactical bomber, 2 infantry, a militia, and an artillery. In Burma, I've got a single infantry. In Calcutta, I've got a heavy armor and a militia. In southern India, I've got a militia. In Maharashtra, I've got a militia. In Delhi, I've got a infantry, a marine, an artillery, 2 medium armor, 2 heavy armor. In Java, I've got 1 marine. In New South Wales, I've got 2 marines, 2 infantry, 3 artillery, and a militia. In Queensland, I've got an infantry and 2 heavy armor. On the North Island, I've got a marine and an artillery. On the South Island, I've got a marine and an infantry. I've got 2 destroyers, a heavy cruiser, a battle cruiser, 2 light cruisers, 2 tacticals in the sea zone around New Zealand. In New Guinea, I've got a infantry and 2 marines. And the big fleet. The big fleet in the main sea zone there is 2 coastals, 1 transport, 5 battleships, a heavy battleship, 4 heavy cruisers, 2 light cruisers, 2 torpedo boat destroyers, 2 fleet carriers, 1 light carrier, 5 fighters. That should be that. We did gain 2 IPP from our acquisitions off to Anzac. Anzac should be now down to 2. We are at 65 plus 14 is 79 IPP for the turn, minus whatever we lose from those dastardly subs that we're not allowed, can't seem to kill. And that should be everything for Japan. I'm sorry, I didn't realize these were even sitting there. That's a little annoying for y'all. Shout out if I'm missing anything on the income tracker or the tech section here. Oh, Great Britain. I was checking on that. So 1, 2, 27. What else? Oh, 3. Is Catalonia worth an IPP? That might be the 4th one. I wasn't sure exactly what was getting us to the 29 that you had marked there. But so if you want to chime in on that, GWE, let me know, because I know you mentioned that they were at 29, and I think I probably have them at 28. I think the Catalonia one is the one I might be missing, if that's a change in the V4 map. That should be it though. So I'm just gonna leave y'all a nice little shot of the Japanese fleet here for everybody to remember. Not entirely sure how much longer it's gonna be there. Brits are coming. See y'all next week. Game on.